guys, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time we're meeting, my name is Christian, also known as Crazy Plant Guy. Be sure to hit that subscribe button or follow me on Instagram because that is where I am pretty much every day. So in this video, we're going to talk all about how to care for your indoor houseplants during the winter season. So obviously, if you live in the northwest part of the world and when winter comes around, the temperature drops, the days are shorter, Santa Claus comes around with some presents. I'm just kidding. But your plants will typically not look as healthy or as perked up as they normally would be during the spring and summer season, as well as their growth tends to slow down, and some plants will actually go dormant, like your alocasias or even the string of hearts here. But not to worry, I'm here to obviously give you guys some of my advice and general care tips on how to care for them to at least maintain their health so that way they are ready to grow again when the spring comes around next year. So let's talk about watering your plants during the winter season. So obviously you need to cut that back a bit, and that is because your plants aren't growing as fast as they normally are during the growing season. So it just means that they're not absorbing the water, and instead of going from watering my plants once a week, it ends up being around 10-11 days during the winter season. But with that said though, you always want to follow the general rules when it comes to watering your plants, and that is to only water them when they are dry. And the way to tell when your plants are dry is obviously lifting your plant up to see if it's light, sticking a finger in the soil to see if it's wet, moist, or dry, or when they start looking droopy like this Vitonia. Ta-da! So this Vitonia obviously needs to be watered, and he will bounce right back up. So that is what typically will happen when you underwater, is your plants will bounce back up. Now when you overwater, you are risking root rot, and that will kill your plants for sure, and they will not come back to life. So again, when it comes to watering, just follow your general rules. The schedule will just obviously get a little bit longer because they won't need that water as much. On the same token, when it comes to fertilizer, you don't want to fertilize your plants during the winter season. I typically don't even fertilize most of my plants during the growing season, but some people do. And in winter, you want to obviously cut that back because they don't need it. They aren't growing as fast. So now let's talk about your windows. And if you're like me and you only have one window, thankfully it is a large south-facing window. You will have most of your plants as close to it as possible. So you want to make sure there are no cold drafts coming in from the outside through your windows. And that is because your plants, as soon as they feel that cold air, they will drop their leaves, so you want to avoid that. Thankfully, my windows are fairly new, so I don't have any cold drafts coming in. You also want to make sure your windows are clean. So you want to clean both the inside and outside if you can. And that is because you want to maximize the amount of light coming through the windows. Obviously the days are shorter and the sun isn't as strong. So you want to make sure your plants are getting as much light as they can. On that same note, you also want to clean the leaves of your plants of any dust or dirt. Again, you want to maximize their ability to absorb the sun and photosynthesize. So I typically will get a wet paper towel and wipe down the leaves. It's also a good way to inspect your plants from any possible pests. But yeah, the other thing I also will do during the winter season is actually move more plants closer to my window. I only have this one south-facing window, so I typically will move more plants over there. It does end up looking a little bit cluttered, but that's okay. I rather have them healthy than dead. So the other thing as well too, when it comes to taking care of your plants during the winter season, is you never want to repot or transplant your plants during this time. Because again, they are not growing, and at that point you're just stressing the plants out even more. So avoid repotting or transplanting your plants. So my final advice when it comes to caring for your plants during the winter season is to get yourself a grow light. As I mentioned, plants typically need anywhere between 8 to 16 hours of daylight, and during the winter season here in Canada, I think we get a maximum of anywhere between 6 and 7. So obviously I had to get myself a grow light, and the way I use this grow light is I actually turn him on during the morning when I'm getting ready for work. So that's about a couple hours, and then I turn him off during the work day. So that's about another 8 and 9, and then when I come back from work, I turn him on in the evening and I leave him on until I'm about to go to bed. So that's a good 12 to 14 hours of daylight that he gets. And the grow light that I actually got is this guy. Ta-da! So this is an absolute daylight spectrum grow light from Miracle LED, and I got this from Amazon. I'm actually going to provide a link below, so go check that out. But this replaces about 100 watts of daylight, and it doesn't get hot. I ended up getting actually one of these floodlights. So with a clamp, and what I do is I actually just plug this in and I clamp it on one of my bases, so that way I have control of where the light goes. Again, you can use grow lights by individually for each plant. I typically only need them for a couple hours, so I like to actually just spread the light. So that's why I got one of these. And I actually tested to see how well this does. So what I ended up doing is I actually got an Oxalis that is already closed up. So you know Oxalis closes during the evening when there's no more light. And I actually put this light on him, and he opened up pretty quickly. So that tells me that this is a pretty good daylight light bulb. Again, if you want to check it out, click on the link below. Other than that, that is it for me. Hopefully you guys found this video valuable. If you have any other comments or questions on how to care for your plants during the winter season, be sure to comment below and I will get to them as soon as I can. Hopefully you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace. Hey guys, I forgot to mention one other thing, which is to get yourself a humidifier. Obviously during the winter season, our heaters are going to be on, which means it's going to make your place a lot drier than usual. So for those that have plants that require a lot of humidity, like calatheas, get yourself a humidifier. I'll provide a couple links in the description below. And if you don't want to get a humidifier, you know, you can always use the pebble tray and water trick, or mist your plants a lot more often than usual. I'm pretty sure those are all the advice I had planned for you guys on how to care for your plants during the winter season. In case you do have any other suggestions as well, be sure to comment below and share with the plant community, because I'm also learning as well. But yeah, again, hopefully you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.